Welcome everybody to another thick and hearty smoked out courtroom session of Lockdown 23-1. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, we're jumping into the courtroom once again. And today the defendant has no idea what's about to be coming her way. So let's get right into it. If you're new to the channel and enjoy all things lockup and crime related, then this is where you want to be. Hit that like, subscribe, notification bell before you leave. And check out my playlist with many more videos for you to start watching today.
Versus Patricia Ann Turpin. It's case number 2023, CR 486. Amber Norris appearing for the state of Kansas. James Watts as defense counsel. Defendant Patricia Ann Turpin now appears at the court security Zoom location at the Judicial Center. Ms. Turpin, you were late to your sentencing?
I was in the other building. I didn't know which building to go to, and I ended up in the other building. That's why I was late.
Sounds like a typical excuse to get the case continued. I've done that trick a few times. Oh, Your Honor, I was a little late. I apologize. I went to the wrong courtroom. Can we just push this out a couple more months, man? You know, even though I was going to jail today.
All right. I don't think there's been court held in that building for 21 years.
I've never been to court here, ever. I have no idea.
Now.
How are you going to go to a courthouse that ain't been active in 2 decades? That bitch was abandoned. There wasn't nobody in it. Power wasn't even on. Your Honor, I'm over here in courtroom 2, and this birch looks old as
This matter comes before the court at this time for sentencing. Docket notes from June 18th indicate that the defendant pled guilty to count 3, computer crime, a level 8 felony.
Ooh.
A pre-sentence report was ordered. Sentencing originally set for August the 12th.
And I hate to stop it again, but you heard that. Computer crimes. Don't you ever forget this either. Every police department nowadays has a cyber division. Professional experts in the digital world. Keep thinking you can duck and delete. They know how to retrieve.
Sentencing originally set for August the 12th. Subsequently rescheduled to today's date. This court has received an updated pre-sentence report compiled by Ryan Smith, pre-sentence investigator, who is part of this meeting. I trust each attorney has received the updated report, and I'll ask the state's attorney first. Is there any objection to the criminal history as stated in the report?
I did receive the update, Your Honor, and no objection.
Any objection to criminal history by the defense here, Mr. Watts? Mr. Watts? You're muted.
Your Honor, no objection to the criminal history score.
Court will adopt the criminal history as stated in the report and finds that the criminal history score applicable to today's sentencing is criminal history score H, and the court will proceed further accordingly. Ms. Norris, do you know of any legal reason why sentence should not be pronounced in the Turpin case here this afternoon?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Watts, are you aware of any such legal reason?
No, sir.
Ms. Turpin, are you aware of a legal reason or any other good reason why the court shouldn't proceed further with your sentencing?
No, sir.
Ma'am, do you have any good reason why the court shouldn't continue with your smoking? Ah, man, you knew it was coming. But she's definitely looking confused after that question. How about, Your Honor, please just give me 1 more month of freedom, all right? That's why I went to the old courthouse.
Proceed further then. Counsel, I'm not aware that there's been a motion for a departure sentence or any other sentencing related motion to take up. Does the state have any such motions to pursue?
No, Your Honor.
Does the defense, Mr. Watts?
That's good.
No, sir.
Very well. Are there any victims or members of a victim's family who desires to address the court in relation to this sentencing? Who is Deborah's iPhone?
Uh-oh.
Or Jacqueline Green?
Your Honor, Jacqueline Green is the victim witness coordinator in the office.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. And there's no family members with her?
Not that I'm aware of. And Your Honor, I'm not sure who Deborah's iPhone is.
Is there someone whose screen name is Deborah's iPhone who wishes to address the court in relation to this Turpin sentencing?
She's trolling. Get her out of here.
Just like to have a yes or a no.
No, I do not need to address. This is Deborah.
It is Deborah.
Victim's daughter.
Oh, the victim's daughter.
Did you wish to address the court?
No, thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Deborah. My apologies.
At this time, then, the court will ask for recommendations from counsel regarding an appropriate sentence for Ms. Turpin, beginning with Amber Norris on behalf of the state.
What did she do?
Your Honor, state would be recommending for the felony crime of computer crime.
Oh yeah, that's right. Computer
The
crime.
court follow the presumption and assign defendant to 9 months in the Department of Corrections. Defendant would be able to earn 20% good time credit and would be subject to 12 months post-release. Defendant has earned 2 days of jail time credit.
Oh, she's breaking down already.
Your Honor, this is a presumptive probation matter based on the crime and defendant's criminal history. So I asked the court to assign her to 18 months community corrections probation with all standard and PSI recommended probation conditions, including a drug evaluation, no contact, and Your Honor, this is a community corrections case, so the court will need to assess standard probation and costs of the case, but then also the community corrections fee. There is restitution in the amount of $1,305.44. Some of that goes to the victim's family and some of it goes to the bank. We'll make sure that the dollar amounts are specifically set out in the journal entry. Mr. Watts is appointed, so the court will need to address court-appointed attorney's fees and the bid's application fee. And Your Honor, I don't think I have any further recommendations for the court at this time.
Very well, Ms. Norris. Mr. Watts, recommendations regarding an appropriate sentence?
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, we join the state's recommendation there in keeping with the plea agreement. I believe we join the recommendation of the mitigated 9 months with the post-release and probation durations and good time credits as noted. We likewise have no objection to the restitution that is set out in the PSI. I don't know that I have a whole lot else to add, Your Honor. Thank you.
Your fees and the representation of this client?
This is billed at $1,000 to bids.
Thank you.
All right, so what I'm gathering here is there's a plea deal up on the table. 9 months in jail with it all suspended, and she gets to go home on probation.
At this time, the court will address the defendant, Patricia Turpin, personally and ask her if she has any statements that she wishes to make in mitigation of punishment or anything further that she would like to present to the court. Ms. Turpin?
I just want to apologize to the victim's daughter. I'm very sorry for what I did, and
Okay.
I really just want to say sorry to her.
Right. Any other statements for the court, Ms. Turpin?
No.
Very well. Court will pronounce sentence in this case at this time.
Oh no, where's
Court
my
hereby establishes count 3 as the base sentence in the case for the offense of computer crime, a severity level 8, non-drug, non-person felony, in which the defendant has a criminal history score of H, thus placing her in grid box 8H. Court hereby sentences the defendant to a term of 9 months in the custody of the Secretary of Corrections, the state of Kansas. On this sentence, the defendant may earn up to 20% of good time credit and would be subject to 12 months of post-release supervision. No fine is imposed on that count. Court does note that in grid box 8H, this would be a presumptive probation case under Kansas law. There does not appear to be a special rule application here or a motion for departure to disturb that presumption. And the court will grant the defendant 18 months of initial probation term to be supervised by community corrections. Community corrections supervision is deemed appropriate due to the high risk score on the risk needs assessment that was conducted in this case. Conditions of that probation will be to report to an officer as directed, observe all laws, obtain a substance abuse evaluation within 45 days of today's date, and abide by the recommendations of that evaluation. She shall not possess or consume alcohol or illegal drugs while on probation. At her ISO's request and at her own expense, submit to random breath, blood, and urinalysis testing, perform any community service work pursuant to any program requirements, gain and maintain employment successfully throughout her probationary term, notify her ISO of any change in employment status, residence, telephone number, or email address within 48 hours of any such change happening, have no contact with the victim in this case or members of the victim's immediate family. She shall submit her DNA to the KBI databank and be responsible for the $200 cost of the test, abide by any curfew or travel restrictions imposed by her officer, follow all standard conditions of probation, not have in her possession firearms or dangerous weapons, and avoid disreputable characters and places. The defendant shall also make monthly payments on her obligations owed to the court, which would include a felony docket fee, felony probation fee, community corrections fee, the $200 DNA fee, and a bids application fee of $100. Attorney.
I'm broke though, Your Honor. Stop hitting me with so many fucking fees.
As the court will also be ordering this defendant to pay $1,305.44 in restitution to the victims in the case as their interest may appear. Ms. Turpin, there's one other order that the court wishes to consider in this case. This court, unfortunately, has to see many cases where vulnerable people are exploited by others. I wish it was not so prevalent. However, this needs to stop. You are not new to the court system. You have, I believe, 3 prior property crime offenses on your record. So you're not new to this, and yet you exploited this helpless woman who was the victim in this case. And the court does have discretion, despite the fact that the legislature has determined you're not a prison case, that the court can impose up to 60 days in the county jail as a condition of probation. And that's exactly what the court's going to do here, Ms. Turpin.
Please don't.
The court is going to order you to serve 58 days more because you've got 2 days of jail time credit against that sentence.
Can we schedule it?
Starting immediately.
Oh, please don't do this.
Ms. Turpin, you are an incredibly poor risk.
I've never done this to anybody
don't
before.
talk over me. Don't talk over me.
Oh my goodness.
You're an extremely poor risk to show up in jail on any type of schedule because you couldn't even make your sentencing on time today. Further, last time you were directed to appear at the Judicial Center and you didn't. Look, we're not going to talk over each other. I've made my ruling. You're not going to cry your way out of it.
Oh no, Your Honor.
Please.
She's sorry. Please.
I got my grandkids outside.
No. See,
are you done, Ms. Turpin, so that I can complete your...
That's why I can't be a judge. I have my grandkids outside. You let her out. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to sentence you like that. All right? I got overwork. Oh, yeah. See, I'd be a pushover judge for sure. But look, if you were definitely in there with some paperwork I didn't like, you're getting smoked. From here to kingdom come, man. That's
again, the court has announced 2 days of jail time credit. At some point in the future, Ms. Turpin, you may have the right to seek expungement of this offense. Certain statutory limitations do apply. If you have any question about your right to someday seek expungement, you can address those questions to a lawyer and I'm sure get your questions answered. Under certain limited circumstances, defendants have a right to appeal their conviction to an appellate court having jurisdiction. And if defendants are unable to pay the cost of an appeal, they may ask the court to appoint a lawyer to represent them on appeal and that they be supplied with the transcript of trial court proceedings. Pursuant to KSA 22-3608C, you, the defendant, have 14 days after this judgment in court to file any notice of appeal with the clerk of the District Court of Butler County, Kansas. You do have the right to appeal this sentence if the court has ruled adversely to you, the defendant, at this hearing. I will remind you that there's prohibitions against a convicted felon possessing a firearm, and that there are losses of certain civil rights, such as the right to vote, until your sentence is fully discharged.
But look, this is like the worst case possible scenario for anybody going in front of a judge, especially with a plea deal. He went along with the plea deal to the very end, then he put the cherry on top. Even though legislation says this isn't a prison sentence. I'm sick and tired of y'all taking advantage of the weak. People been doing this way too often, and now it's time for someone to get painted up. ma'am, you're gonna have to do a cool 60 clip. That's all there is to it, right? See, sometimes a judge, they can't go outside of what the plea deal says, but sometimes they can. And this was a perfect example of it, all right? You just don't know. Even if you think it's a signed, seal, deliver sentencing, if something about you or the case rubs a judge the wrong way, he can go above and beyond.
Ms. Norris, I wanted to ask you, of all of the financial assessments you were asking the court to impose, has the court covered all of those?
Yes, Your Honor, I believe so.
All right. Mr. Watts, is there anything further from the defense side that the court still needs to address?
I don't believe so, Your Honor. Thank you.
Your Honor, I've been fired him. He ain't doing nothing for me. He's just letting the court steamroll that smoke all over the place.
Turpin into the immediate custody of the Butler County Sheriff's
Please,
Representative
Judge, please, my
No.
until
grandma.
her custody can be transferred
No.
to the Butler County Jail to serve out 58 more days.
Please don't do.
Of course, not realistically going to expect her to make payments during those months. So the court will start her payment obligation as earlier announced for the calendar month of November.
Wow, talk about an emotional roller coaster. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of felt like the judge should have at least made it a scheduled entry into jail. Okay, you know, sometimes the judge will let you get your affairs in order before you have to turn yourself in. Usually the wealthy get that option quite often. Me personally, I would have sent a bailiff out there to see if the grandkids were with her. And if they were, and she had to figure out some way to get them to wherever, I would have said, you know what, I'll give you 48 hours to turn yourself in, ma'am. If not, I'm going to give you all of them 9 months back. And I promise you, we will find you. Right? That's what I would have done. Anyways, I want y'all to get one thing and one thing only from this. It doesn't matter your circumstances, your job, situation, family, health, nothing. You break a certain kind of law, chances are you're going to jail. Anyways, I'm out of here, ladies and gentlemen, and stay tuned. I got a crazy video coming your way. A neighbor that I haven't spoken to since I moved into this house came up to me and Brittany saying some wild, outlandish claims about another neighbor. Man, I gotta break this down to y'all. It's crazy. Stay tuned. Little cul-de-sac juice. I ain't done that in a while. Not to mention, yesterday I seen the heaviest police presence I've ever seen in my life on the way to the casino. I'm talking about at least 200 cops. I mean, undercover minivans. And they weren't even in the county they were supposed to be. So I'm thinking maybe it was a police chase. But I look it up this morning and there's nothing. I mean, nothing. Absolutely nothing. And the town that those police are from, let's just say they call it the Secret City. Yeah, we'll get there, ladies and gentlemen, so stay tuned. But as always, until the next time, y'all be easy, be safe, and more importantly than anything, stay free.